About a month ago, I had a really interesting conversation with Jaume and his training partner, Marcel Chan, about their rise to pickleball from Hawaii. To provide a little context, we were talking about the stigma of playing with players who are lower level than you. Honestly, it was a super eye-opening conversation that I think could really benefit the pickleball community. Special thanks to Hesicor for sponsoring this podcast. Enjoy.
Yeah, I was telling you as I started to play PPAs, as I started to dedicate full time. Obviously in Hawaii, there is nobody else was nobody else at that point that was trying or playing at my level.
Yeah.
And everybody always had tell me, how do you train? How do you get better? There's nobody to play, and that's true. Coming from a general statement where people think that you need a better player to train, and obviously, if you are a 5-0, you cannot play with a 3-0 or practice with 3-0. But a little bit lower level, that's also fine. What I find for myself is when I go and play lower levels, I will condition myself. Whether it's dropping every single ball to a spot that I'm not as strong dropping, or trying to dink in a certain place all the time regardless of the ball that is coming to me, trying to reset balls from after the bounce. There is so many things that you can focus and be better at by just having a lower player on the other side. And I'm probably like the main proof. I went from starting not playing pickleball in my life a year ago to now being top pros, and I've been in Hawaii. And I've been getting better on tournaments, but my main home has been Hawaii. And now obviously in Hawaii there is a lot of good players, such as Marcel. He's coming up player. He's a total champ, and I'm not sure he'll do very good, but he started later than me, and when we started, literally I could beat him up as much as I could, and he would be a little bit like my try to do things.
He's your guinea pig.
He's
your guinea pig.
Yeah, a little bit my guinea pig, and I would try shots on him, and I would be like what works and what not. And the point of it was not beating him, it was getting reps on that particular one shot, which after he got so good and read so good my shots that then I wasn't winning the point anymore like that, and made me think of other shots. And that made me better, made him better, but now he's out here playing main draws and going 3 sets with Tyson. And that makes me very happy, and he started at the lower level, and now he's in my level. And I also don't want to be like, I train every day, I put my life on it. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. I practice as little as I want, or as little as I can, or as little as I need to improve. The point is getting one step at a time and getting better at one thing at a time. And whether like maybe you might be less talented than another player, but maybe for me it takes me like 30 minutes to get down a shot, and that's what I wanted to accomplish that one day or that 1 week. And that week for me, the practice time was 2 hours total. But that's what I needed. And practicing more than those 2 hours in that week is just putting reps that make no sense for me. Right? So depending who you are, you'll know who you are as a person, like how long it takes you to get a shot down or something. You'll need more hours or less hours. Like everybody's different. But the point is like improving. No matter if you do it in 10, 20 on an hour. That's what I think.
If you guys watched our last podcast, we talked a little bit about this, of basically Jaume saying that you don't need to train a bunch of hours, but you need fewer hours that are more intense and more focused.
Exactly.
So I have a question for you, Marcelo. As Jaume's training partner in Hawaii, I want to hear your experience of, as someone who came into pickleball a bit later, what is your experience like training against someone better, and how have you seen this iron sharpen iron action going on as you guys both are leveling up?
So in the beginning, it was pretty rough. I had no idea where this guy was going. He would put his paddle like this, and at the last second go like this with his head, and then I'd be falling over to the side. So it was really challenging to get a read on his shots. But after so many sets of 11-0, 11-0, I got a little bit sharper and then maybe got 1 or 2 points here and there. And then, after some time went on, the sets became a little bit more competitive, and then he actually had to add maybe 1 more shot after a really low dipper to my backhand. Now I actually can get it back up the line, and then the game begins again.
Yeah. Wow.
And also like something important, like for instance, like I would go to a PPA and I would play against Ben Jones. Ben Jones would kick my ass, and I'd be like, damn, he's really like dropping the ball on my backhand, and it hurts me to that I have to do that. And I'll go back to Hawaii and I would tell Marcel, this is how this guy beats me. So I need you to drop that backhand all the time there.
Yeah.
And then there is a time that he starts beating me because it's literally I'm telling him exactly what hurts me and how to beat me.
Yeah.
And that's the only way that I will get better if I have somebody in Hawaii that does exactly what I hate.
Yes.
It wouldn't make sense for me to not tell him. Now the problem is going to be when I play against him and he beats me. Then I'm going to be real mad. but
Marcel, has that happened yet?
No.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be real mad when that happened in a real tournament. I'll be like, God damn, this guy is picking my weaknesses because I told him all along,
Yeah.
But that's just gonna make me better,
Yes.
So yeah, you can also do that. If you know there is a shot that hurts you a lot, just tell the opponent what it is and tell them to hit it to you.
Yeah.
Instead of running away, just make it harder for yourself. And sometimes with him, I was like, I'm so done. I just don't want to play anymore because he's been trying the same thing and I keep failing at the same thing. I was like, tomorrow we'll come back.
Yeah.
Today is not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I gotta watch some film.
Yeah. So kind of tying it back to the topic of like playing with a lower level player, I want to talk about that because, I do want to address like the kind of stigma of people not wanting to play with lower level players. I think that's not fair. Of course, like if a skill is too big, it's not going to be beneficial for either one. But I want to kind of highlight the point of, you were talking about this earlier, that when you play with someone a bit lower level, you get to practice patterns and you get to practice things that if you practice against someone better than you, they would just crush your hopes and dreams and you would learn nothing.
Yeah, like for example, things that I focus, like my drives as a single players are very strong. If I go to Hawaii and drive every third, I'll make the point every single time.
Yeah.
So I'll make a point not to drive any ball. So every point I have to drop no matter the return. Again, like for instance, when I get to the kitchen line, if I use any speed ups of the one I'm using playing in the top doubles pro PPA, I'll probably body back most of the people. I will make the point most of the time. And so my point given that is I make a point to win the point only by dinking.
Wow.
If they speed up, I won't counter. I'll just reset and then keep dinking. And then that is what made my dinker sharper.
Wow.
That's what makes my decision making, because even though I want to do something, I'm stopping myself from countering hard to reset that one ball that I would put in your mouth right away. But I'm like, no, I'm working on something. Then if somebody is like, oh, let's play for real, then don't worry, I'll kick your ass. But while I'm doing that with a lower player, I'll make a point to be strict on those 40 minutes that I'm practicing to do what I came to do, what I want to do myself. If I know exactly how to make the point every time and I make the point every time, that's not helping me.
Right.
So that's sometimes what's happening with this stigma you're talking about is like people has too much ego.
Right.
Sometimes I will lose because I just dink and I just want to reset. Sure. People's like, oh, I beat Jaume Martinez, MLP player or whatever. I'm like, dude, I don't have an ego. I don't matter to me, because at the end of the day, I go to the tournament and I know how I play and I know what I would do in those situations. The point is that I didn't want to dink and I've been dinking 40 minutes.
Right.
That's what made me better.
So. I feel that too. Like that what you're talking about is infectious, because when I play against you and just when I'm hanging out with you, I feel like you are generally a person that doesn't seem super into yourself, but you seem like a person who is just about self-improvement. I really respect that about you. So.
Yeah, and for instance, like today or the other day when we played, there was a lot of balls that I could have ended a point.
Oh yeah.
and I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, we didn't go there for you to pop up a ball and me put it in your chest.
Yeah.
You know, we all have to get something out of it.
Yeah.
And by me having to change my mind in the last second and think again or whatever, that just helping me.
Yeah.
You know, and for you to know that that ball was a little too high,
Right.
you know, and I forgive you, you're
Yeah.
like, oh shit, that ball would have been a point.
Yeah.
You know, but the point continues and we all play,
Yeah.
and it don't matter if you win, if I win. You know, you beat me a couple times, we're good, you know.
Yeah, that happened, right? I beat you a couple times.
Yeah,
huh?
don't matter.
Yeah. So Marcella, just back to you. What are things that you do as the underdog? Like, what are things that you could work on playing against someone who has been playing pickleball longer, and you are trying to learn from that? Like, what is your mentality going into practice sessions with Jaume?
That's a really good question. I would say it honestly depends on the day. If I'm getting a real bad spanking by Jaume, it's mentally pretty tough to deal with. There's only so many 11-0s a guy can take in a row. I told him after our last practice before we left, because he 11-0'd me like 4 times in a row, I was like, bro, I quit. I'm just done now. So to be like 100% honest, it is really rough. But then I go to a tournament and I realize, wow, like not everybody is a magician and can hit every single spot on the court under any height, any pace of the ball. So now when I play with somebody else, I'm like, oh, great, if I can kind of dip it to their backhand low, I can close up the line. And that's something that I never thought about before I played with a good player. I would just try to hit it hard or resort to like tennis strategies. But yeah, playing with a really high-level guy like Jaume, now I actually start having to think while I'm playing, not just going out there and hitting balls. Does that?
That makes sense. Yeah. My next question for you is: do you have a guinea pig? Do you have?
I'm on the market for a guinea pig.
Okay, because I'll volunteer. I'll volunteer. You know.
There we go.
I'll go to Hawaii. You could beat up on me, make you feel better.
Yes, please.
And then use that new knowledge and beat this guy.
Yeah, I need a little boost. He humbled me last time, so I gotta get some aggression out. That'll be perfect.
I hear that. Well, guys, I hope you guys, learn something about training here, and I hope more of you guys start playing with different levels, whether you're playing up or playing down. You know, pickleball is one of the most beautiful sports because of how inclusive it is, and I think that's something we want to do moving on as a community is be like Jaume. Use what you got. You don't have to have all the best players. You can live on an island in Hawaii and use what you got to build up. So go out there. Next time you see maybe a beginner out there, like paddle up with them. Like just try playing with them and practice what you're weak at. And that's how we get better together.
Yeah, and even like sometimes me right now, I'll play with 3.5s. I'll play with 4.0s. And if I see that even doing the things that we talked about, still I'm like not getting much benefit, then I literally change to my paddle to my left hand, and I'll start thinking because when you change to your non-dominant, then literally I go and I become a 3.0 again. You know, so now I have to think and I have to relearn the role with my left, and I have to and that just making my brain think and be better. You know, I'm not saying I now go and play with your left, but I'm just saying extreme case.
Sure.
You know, you can always train something. That doesn't mean whether it's coordination, hand-eye coordination when they speed up and you have to block with your left, you look like crippled, but you can improve that. You know, that's gonna make you better at some point.
100%. I mean, Jaume is not just being like, oh, I'm so much better than you. I can be with my left.
No, not at all.
Truly, guys, training with your left hand. Ben Johns, I swear to God, he's ambidextrous. Ben Johns is a legit 5'5" left-hand player. I don't know if you guys know about that, but you go watch him playing with the left hand.
He's good.
He's insanely good. I think that he's just I can cover anywhere. Left hand, right hand. And so that just to kind of clear Jaume's name,
it just makes you think differently. The space of the court is just reversed because where you have the forehand, you have the backhand, and you have to slide the other way, and it just makes you more complete player. And that's the truth.
100% agree. Well, guys, thanks so much for jumping on. I feel like you guys are, one of the coolest pro players that I know. Like,
Thank you, buddy.
You guys are awesome.
Thanks, dog.
Hey, if you want to follow this guy, he's what is it? Your Pickleball BF on Instagram. Go follow him. He has some sweet pics. He's a great teacher. Learn some pickleball from Your Pickleball BF. Follow Jaume, and we'll see you guys in the next one.